Okay, thank you and welcome to LSE GREG's 7th quarterly. We have a lot of new faces here this evening. So kind of an experiment as we go along and invite in members of London Business School and CAS and kind of see what sort of new blood we can mix and new ideas we can bring. I wanted to give you a little bit of background first. I'm James Walton, I'm the president of LSE Global Real Estate Group. We were founded and started about 2005, in the middle of 2005, primarily with the idea of understanding new models of real estate, teasing out arbitrage situations, and generally trying to do and understand what is new, and maybe project and talk about new trends in real estate. Specifically, we aim to create a union of LSE alumni and friends, and we give an opportunity to meet people and do business. The idea of this is not to be a think tank, it's to actually try to find an arbitrage situation and hopefully execute it. Additionally, we provide career support to, where possible, to students. And that's sort of the reason for our being. We would also like to thank our sponsors, who are Patron Capital, Ajax Civic Land, and Donny Day Pantera. So we work hard to try to keep these events free, and so far they have been. So thank you to sponsors. So tonight we are here to talk about the architects and engineers of private equity. And specifically, we're going to address questions really revolving around architects and engineers who are willing to work on spec and enroll their charges into the deal in some form. We are going to address what sort of profit and ownership structures provide maximum interest alignment. Maybe even touch upon how the RIBA code might block or hinder participation as a developer. We are going to talk about some case studies as well, what financing structures work best from the architects and engineers' points of view, and did the funding structures significantly impact the outcome of the project's design and build. So, usually architects many times have a reputation for coming up with great ideas, but they're hugely expensive and have to go back again and again to be refined. So trying to see and tease out of our architects whether this made a difference to them and they were actually able to preempt some of this before and try to find better value construction materials or a different way of building. Is there another question we're going to address is there a preference on the part of the architect engineer for ownership or partial ownership, or what is sort of now evolving into being certain companies' preferred structure, if there is one, or is every deal different in that regard? In maximizing the trade between working on spec and achieving top hurdle returns, it means that architects and engineers are ultimately having to learn more about finance. So in order to get in, and particularly if as an equity partner from the outset, there's going to be a whole lot more reporting back that's going to need to be done to justify an IRR or an IRR look-back waterfall. And traditionally, it's been my experience that architects and engineers wouldn't normally be trained in that. So we really want to kind of understand, are there now new teams growing out just to handle this? And really, moreover, will this now lead to a further integration in the whole development process? So obviously, you would have usually some sort of financing house, some private equity firm, a bank, and then all of the suppliers and consultants. But if now all of a sudden these consultants, by consultants I mean by architects and engineers, are these people now controlling much more of the process than they would before? Because I haven't seen any private equity firms branching out yet to call themselves architects or call themselves engineers. So is the reverse happening? So with us this evening, we have a number of speakers, we have Paul Foster, Director of E.C. Harris, and Robert Luck, who's the Managing Director of Lattice, and accompanying Robert is going to be his partners, Christian Patney and James Curtis. Just to give you a little bit of background on them. They have such distinguished backgrounds. I'm going to skip through some of it and hopefully highlight the most important things. And also tonight, Robert and Lattice and team are going to be up first. They're a small startup. I guess you've been coming up to 1 year anniversary, so congratulations. And really want to get an idea and take you on the journey tonight of what it's like as a small entrepreneurial company approaching this subject, and also with an architecture background. And then on the other side, we're going to move into Paul and E.C. Harris, and what that experience is like being part of a much larger established corporation, which actually does have plenty of funds to become possibly its own private equity, or at least have a private equity arm, if maybe you have one already, but so we'll hopefully find out tonight. So also, the point of tonight is also to ask lots of hard questions, in my opinion, so hopefully I've debriefed our speakers here enough that we're not trying to replicate Urban Land Institute or give you just a sort of general update on what's happening in the marketplace. This is more about asking lots of hard questions, hopefully. Doesn't mean you have to answer them all, but... So, just to give you a little background here. Robert Lux, Managing Director of Lattice. He grew up in Birmingham, was educated at City Technology College, Kinghurst, where he completed International Bachelor Diploma. Robert went on to study civil engineering at the University of Nottingham, but decided that his heart was in architecture. And the University allowed him to change his course, subsequently graduated first. Robert used to work at Richard Rogers Partnership, and he worked on the Leadenhall Tower in the City of London, amongst other high-profile projects. Robert also, let's see, what do we say here? Robert completed his diploma in architecture and Architectural Association in London, where he won the Future Practice Award, and then basically went on to establish Lattice with co-founders James Curtis and Christian Patney. Christian is a founding member, of course, of Lattice. He grew up in Kenya, and from a young age developed a passion for art and making art. After completing his A-levels at the Nairobi Academy, Christian moved to England to study architecture at the University of Nottingham, where he graduated with first. And he's done many things here, actually, so let me just try to get through some of the biggest highlights here. I worked on received an award here, winning the National Assembly of Wales for the Potton Airport in Shanghai. Received a part scholarship to the Architectural Association, where he graduated with a diploma in architecture, and also has won the American Institute of Architects Award for Excellence in Design. James is another founding member of Lattice. Grew up in Gloucestershire, where he studied his A-levels and the National Higher Diploma in Building Studies at Gloucestershire College of Advanced Technology. Went on to study as undergraduate at Oxford Brookes School of Architecture, where he was granted a first and was nominated for the RADA Prize Bronze Medal. James also worked at Richard Rogers, and he worked on the National Assembly of Wales and the Maggie Centre. I think that hopefully did you justice. Now on to Paul, who's has quite a few good and very important things to say here. Paul is a senior partner and head of local government and education at E.C. Harris LLP. He's an executive member of the firm's public sector board with accountability for 10% of the firm's circa £250 million fee revenues, which is equivalent to a construction turnover of $5 billion per annum. He's accountable for leading people towards the vision of creating fellowship within local government and education sectors. He's undertaken significant roles on high-profile